Jesse Watson, who ran for city council here in Edmonton, Alberta, made this viral video on Instagram to talk about what's going on in Chinatown. Here he is to tell us about it. You had a crazy video that you released on Instagram. Can you please tell us a little bit about it?
Yeah, first, Manny, I appreciate you taking the time to interview me, because I think a lot of mainstream media in Edmonton, at least where I am located, they're just not wanting to talk about real issues going on in Chinatown and elsewhere. So I really appreciate you doing this. So the community, I don't know if you've been downtown lately, it's a little rough, okay? There's some unhoused, there's some vacant properties, and it seems like it's being neglected, okay? Chinatown actually reached out to me. They said, Jesse, can you come help us? There's a lot of people in fear of speaking out. I think it's just where our current world is right now. People are scared to engage and talk. And so I went down and I did a video. But it wasn't about the unhoused per se, the homeless issues going on. It was actually about predatory pharmacies and convenience stores. So I did some data research. I walked around. There are dozens of pharmacies all within a 3-block radius of all these homeless shelters. And then we have the convenience stores. I kid you not, I walked into a convenience store and they ran thinking I was a cop.
Wow.
So it's, and a lot of them are legal, okay? I want to premise saying what they're doing is just retail business. You think about the private sector, it's important that you meet the need. But I feel there's a level that's being crossed, and some of the pharmacies, they've been exploiting the government in the past, overcharging prescriptions. So I feel there's a real risk of duty of care that's happening, and it's really about exploiting the vulnerable population.
I was in Chinatown, and because of your video, I seen it for myself. It's pharmacy, and I was like, are some of these folks, I don't get it. Why is there so many pharmacies in Chinatown? It just didn't click. But after watching your video on Instagram, that's an eye-opener. And that's something that folks here in Edmonton, also in Alberta, should really look into and consider maybe an investigation.
Yeah, so I've reached out to the pharmacy, the college, okay, asking what's your duty of care? How are you assessing these pharmacies? I've reached out to the city saying, what are you doing to regulate it for zoning? Because, we don't have 20 cannabis stores, in a 3-block radius, right? And then actually the Minister of Addictions about opiates and stuff. How are we all working together? Because, like I said, it's a business, and our government's job isn't to take it over, but it's to make sure that it's policy corrected, right? Most of it's radio silence right now. So, stuff like this, you coming on and taking the chance to listen to me is how we really get change going across the system, right?
Thank you so much, Jesse, for coming on.
Yeah, no problem. Talk to you soon, okay?
Talk to you soon.